Well, I'm officially sad. I had to take Luke apart. Um, his legs were just so heavy, they were straining the joints. Now, I'm very excited because he's got full arms and full legs, so he'll be able to wear a bunch of stuff. Oh, and by the way, I'm really sorry if people don't like dismembered dolls. But I had to talk about this because it's upsetting me. Um, I've never gotten a baby from this artist before, and she did a beautiful job on his painting. I have to say, I mean, his face, he looks so much like my son, and the hair is just perfect, and he really looks like my Luke. Um, but he's even got a really good skin tone because my Luke is biracial, and but he was very pale when he was a baby, so he doesn't look quite Caucasian, but he definitely looks biracial in the skin tone area, and that's great. I'm really psyched about that. But his legs were so full; they were filled completely from toe to thigh with ground glass. This is the ground glass. This is the container of ground glass that I took out of his legs only. I haven't even emptied his arms. This is like a 2 quart container. I was just really, really discouraged. Um, they did these plugs at the top, which is just glue. It's just glue from a hot glue gun. I paid over $400 for this doll, and you know the the caps for the top of the limbs are like 59 cents each. You know, I would have happily paid like $2 more to have the right kind of caps on the top. And this was inside of his body. This stuffing and this plastic bag of it's this is ground glass in a plastic bag wrapped in this I don't know, packing paper, I guess. Um, it was a little crinkly, and I was like, what is in there? And I was just really, really surprised. I mean, I expect the weighting in my dolls at least to be put in a cloth pouch. That's the way I've always done it. That's the way, it's been done for all the quality dolls that I've gotten. This this bag was in his head. Um, this is a recycled Bountiful Baby bag. Like maybe the body came in here or something like that. I've seen these. I've gotten these from Bountiful Baby. These are the SKU numbers for the product number, and there was more in this bag than in this bag. So this was the head, and this was the body, and that just makes absolutely no sense to me at all. Um, the arms are filled from the hand all the way up to the arm with the ground glass. I just haven't emptied them out yet because I was upset and I had to do a video and talk about it. He's a beautiful baby. He's a beautiful doll. He's got full limbs. He's going to be so much fun when I get him repackaged and redone. But it was just such a disappointing. The quality of it's just so disappointing. If you're going to put that much effort into such a beautiful paint job, you really should put a little bit more effort into the doll. And I don't know why a lot of artists do this. I don't understand why you think the whole entire limb should be filled with ground glass. That makes for a very, very heavy doll. Babies are heaviest in their bodies and in the thigh region and like maybe the upper arms a little bit. But this guy couldn't even sit up. his limbs were just pulling him sideways. And his head was heavier than his body because there was more weight in his head. Now this doll has a great body with a cute little butt because he can sit up really well with this body. So I mean, common sense would reason that you would put more weight in his bottom so that he could sit up. Less weight in his head. The bigger the baby doll is, the less weight they should have in their head. It doesn't mean the head shouldn't be stuffed. It just means if they're a bigger doll, they're going to probably be sitting up. And if you put a lot of weight in that head, they're just going to flop sideways. They're just going to keep falling over. And if the limbs keep pulling them, you're going to rip the cloth body. And it's just going to be a disaster. So I'm going to get him together. I sent my husband out to get me a pair of nylons so that I can wrap the weighting for his body in cloth instead of a plastic bag, which every time you hug that doll, you're going to hear the crinkle, crinkle, crinkle. This is what I heard when I picked him up. Who wants to hear that when they pick up a baby doll? I mean, I have no idea what was going on. Also, one more thing that I have to say is that the packing for this doll was terrible. This is the box that the doll came in. This sleeve of bubble wrap was kind of around him, and if you watch the box opening video, you see that these blankets were kind of around him, but his head was just out there, and I mean, he could have been damaged. The post office is terrible at throwing packages around. My post office is really terrible because most boxes they leave on top of my mailbox. Why they do that, I just don't know. Luckily, the mailman actually brought this one up to the porch, and I was really thrilled to get it, and I was really disappointed to open it and find that he had just no protection in there at all, and that his limbs were so heavy. He came with a pacifier. He came with a bag of socks, different socks for each day of the week, all sports related, which was really cute because my son loves sports. And I love the outfit he came in, but I kind of expected like a sleeper or something. I don't know. I have never bought a doll for this much and received so little for it, and received such poor quality in not the painting, but in the craftsmanship, I guess. The putting together and the weighting and I mean, I'm sure I'm going to love him. He looks exactly like my son. I can't wait to get him back together and, all that. I love the hair on the top of his head. I think that is just, I mean, it looks so much like my son's hair. Let me see if I can, like this picture, I mean, look, that could be the same child. I wish he had a little bit more painting on his hair, but what can you do? I think this is sweet. He looks a lot like my son. I'm happy with the painting of it, but well, I mean, with the facial painting, his fingernails. Let me see if I can get this into focus. His fingernails they were sticky. They're still sticky. They're still sticky. That's so strange. And I tried to wipe them off with just plain water, and a couple of them are coming off. If you could see that right there, they're like the paint is wiping off. That's kind of disconcerting. Here's his toes. and there's just it's like I don't know, they're just a little sticky. Seems like the hands are sticky, not the toes, but it's just a very strange thing. I don't quite know what that is. But when I tried to wipe it off, it started bringing off some of the paint, which is kind of scary. Again, for an expensive doll. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's just my son Luke came and stuck his hand in the ground glass. He was like, "Oh, you took me apart." It's like, "Yes, dear, I took you apart. I'm gonna rebirth you." But well, that's really all I have to say. I'll do another video with Luke when I get him back together and have him be the doll that he was supposed to be. Thanks for watching, and tune in for more soon. Thanks.